Hey guys, Tim here, back with another Mythic Plus breakdown / analysis of my Devastation Evoker gameplay. This is on a Ruby Life Pulse 10, and I'm just going to stay up front. This was not my finest showing of gameplay. But we learn better by making mistakes and picking them out and being conscious of them when we go further in the future with whatever our endeavors are. In this case, doing Mythic Plus dungeons with this class and spec. So stay tuned. It is rough from the gameplay standpoint, but I think we have a good discussion. I kind of point out a lot of the things here and there, and just kind of talk about the dungeon in general. Ruby Life Pulse 10 is going to be one of the quicker ones to do for sure. It's not that big of a dungeon, but there is a lot going on. So definitely stay tuned and check it out. Did the breakdown live on my stream, live over on twitch.tv/TafuNoob. And live here on YouTube. I stream simultaneously to both. Whenever I am live, I don't have a set schedule yet. I've been kind of all over the place. I need to set something up and really stick to it. But definitely follow me on whatever platform you prefer to watch your live video, whether it be on Twitch or here on YouTube. And if it's here on YouTube, just subscribe to the channel in general, and you'll know when I'm live, when I have new videos up, and all that fun stuff. Definitely a lot of Devastation Evoker stuff coming here in the future once everything kind of hits live. With the Dragonflight expansion and such. That all being said, I'm not going to talk anymore, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ruby Life Pulse 10, Thundering Affix, maybe Fort as well. Tour around the UI real quick. Right here is all the abilities I'm casting. I need to make it bigger so it looks a little bit better. I think I did that on beta already. This was recorded a week and a half ago, so take that as it will. You know, standard weak aura type UI. Didn't have weak auras installed for the dragon. Still don't have it installed for the dragon. But I'm using action bars to kind of track my abilities and stuff. Here's my action bars down here underneath the player. And then damage meters where you can see all the damage done in my spells and the damage that my spells are doing and shit. Pretty simple and easy. I'm just going to start the VOD. It's a 30-minute VOD, so we'll see how it goes. Turn this up a little bit so you can actually hear the game. Ruby Life Pools is a dungeon that there's a lot of passive damage that goes out from what I've noticed, and I need to get better at predicting the damage that comes in. I believe I'm using just my standard beta build here. I'll link it in the chat below. I don't know if I pull it up here on the VOD at all. This is recorded. I'm not playing right now, obviously. I'll just link it in the description below. At least the beta build that I want to use. That I do plan to be using when this stuff goes live. The build is kind of built in hopes that there is a pyre buff. Because right now there isn't much of a pyre usage right now, and I definitely need to use pyre more when I get 20 stacks. I'm gonna say that right now. I need to use the Xur Strike more. I don't use those enough in this dungeon, I believe, but we'll see. We'll pick it apart as we go. I've seen a lot of different strats for this first pull here. Some people kill this guy. Some people try to pull this guy to the next room. Some people Invis pot past this guy. I've seen so many different things here. It all just depends on your group. If you're in a pug and you're a tank, I wouldn't go too crazy to start, just because you don't know how your group's gonna go. You don't know if your group's gonna kick those ice shields or anything like that. But one thing to definitely keep an eye out for here is definitely the ice shields that go out. Those things are pretty beefy. It looks like it's just a 10 thundering, by the way. We already have a death. The Feral Druid already died. I believe it's this dungeon that I found myself getting into a lot of trouble with my hover and my dragon breath. As we'll see going forward. But I definitely need to get better at my own interrupts at times. I know I call people out for not doing interrupts themselves. I need to get better at my own interrupts as well. I'll be 100% honest on that. That's something I gotta get better with, at least with this character. I'm not used to this cooldown timing. The cooldown timing for Quell is shorter than other ranged, and I'm assuming it just to be. I'm assuming it to just be a smaller. How do I put it? A longer cooldown, I should say, because it's a range class. But it's only like it's like still like half the time of other range classes. Like I think it's like 20 seconds, which is not great, but it's not awful. I think I pulled a big guy. I don't know how I didn't pull the big guy. At this point, we had gotten our defensive buff to Obsidian Strikes, but we don't have the buffed Thundering affix. Let's put it that way. Like, we don't have the 5% increased health to mobs, and then the 30% increased damage from Thundering. We have the 15% damage increase from Thundering and no increased health to mobs on this dungeon here. So. Yeah, I definitely need to kick more in this dungeon. That ice shield is brutal, but I don't think I realized how bad it was until like after this dungeon as well. It's kind of like the bystander effect. Like you're sitting there, you're expecting other people to kick, and then they're also expecting other people to kick, and then just nobody kicks, and it's just like one of those weird things that then no one kicks. It's called the bystander effect. You expect everyone else to do something, and then no one else does. I don't know how we didn't pull that other group with my hover there too. I definitely hit that fireball there. I was hovering too. There's no excuse for me to get hit by that. I'll just be honest here. No excuse for me to get hit by that. This guy's good to pull in this room here just because he does some dashing around, I think, at times. And you don't risk activating the small whelps. You risk not pulling the other groups that are there and stuff like that. Like, it's good to pull this guy into this room for sure, from what I've noticed. Which I've only seen this group since I've ran do that. Every other group that I've done this dungeon with, it's just like a fucking free-for-all in that room. Oh yeah, there we go. That's a bad hover. Let's run that back. The absolute worst hover in existence. I catch myself not stopping enough before I pop hover, and it dashes me around. The worst part is I think we had a B-res for this too. Yeah. I don't know if I meant to dash that way or not in the time. Probably. And I dashed right over it as it popped up, and it just fucking annihilated me. So, it's what it is. For this boss though, she'll do like these things on the ground, obviously, where they'll pop that stuff up. And she's gonna summon ads. What you need to do truly is not really focus on the ads, just cleave off her for the ads. Because she does this frost overload, which I think you have to break her shield to kick it. She has like a shield on her, as you can see on her health bar. You have to break that down so you can kick it. And they just let her get a full cast of that off, which we have a Preservation Evoker in the group, so they were able to heal through it. But you want to ignore the ads are a trap. That's what they are. The ads are a trap, and you want to focus her and like actually pretty much burn her down, so you can kick that thing and then take care of the ads from there. Which most people see the ads and they're like, I gotta burn the ads, and it's like, this frost overload is not taken for that much here. Dude, on a 15 though, like this 10 it was doable, and they were down me, which I'm not like some massive shield burner, but you know, it's just extra damage that they could have gotten that down a little bit quicker. But that is the key for this fight here. Hey, look, I got a B-res. I think I die right away. No, I don't. Surprisingly, I don't. There's just a lot of AoE damage that comes out this fight. You want to move this way as far as possible, and then not dash into a big ol' ice thing. Like I almost just did there.
Good work, champion. Now that you have secured the pools below,
I will say blood DKs are looking strong. Like if you get a good blood DK that knows what they're doing, they can stay alive through a lot of shit. A lot of like usually how it's been going, like at the beginning of expansions, blood DKs aren't like amazing as they come off as towards the end of an expansion, but they're holding their own when it comes to tanks. From my perspective as a DPS, and just watching back VODs and stuff, they are holding their own for sure as a tank and able to self-sustain a lot, which is huge. That bug with the with the like people running is hilarious on this dungeon. It just looks like lagging and stuff. Like looks like they're lagged out and just running in place and shit. But they're just like side strafing, facing one way. It's like a ping thing or something like that. I don't know for sure. Barely got out of that storm breath. Huge. Still taking passive damage. Don't know where from. This place is wild. At this point, Windwalkers and Ferals were doing a ton of damage. I know Windwalkers just got a nerf last night, or yesterday, as of like Halloween. They got a nerf along with Enhance. Not as bad of a nerf as Enhance, but they still got a nerf. Like Windwalker individual abilities got tuned. Enhance, literally the enhanced notes were Enhancement Shaman. All damage reduced by 25%. Like it was funny watching the notes, like I think Shadow Priest got some buffs, Holy Priest got some nerfs. There was tuning across a bunch of classes, like it was listing individual abilities and stuff. Then you get to Enhanced Shaman and it's just one line, all damage reduced by 25%. It's like damn, that's cold. That feels worse than getting just individual spells tuned and abilities tuned, like straight up. All your damage reduced by 25%. But they were an issue. Honestly, all melee is very strong in Mythics right now on the beta. I will say melee is harder to play in Mythics for sure. There's a lot of stuff that just happens around the tank and the packs that just is a lot of unavoidable damage. It feels like, so it is a little bit harder to play. So do I feel like they should do more damage? Potentially. But this much more damage, like no, I wasn't playing 100% here. I was shooketh after that hover death. I won't lie. I was pretty shook after that hover death. But yeah, it's a big difference.
The elements answer to me.
This is like one of my, like, honestly, in the terms of all the Mythic runs that I was doing, this is like probably my second or third one, I think, that I had done. So I was still trying to figure out Evoker here. I wasn't using my defenses enough. I wasn't using my self-heal enough, I feel. Even just using Living Flame on myself is huge. Like, it helps out. Flame got that landed on me. That was scary. The tank was completely oblivious of it.
Hurry onwards, champion.
Here I am, tanking a dragon, trying to drag him to the boss. Trying to find someone to rescue to. Or Verdant Embrace to, I should say. So I can get out of there. But the dragon's still coming. He's still aggroed to me. I was hoping at that point, like, the tank would have seen the big old red proto-drake. And he did, after he fire breathed the whole group. And the Windwalker got... and the Windwalker got fire breath. First time in there though, like these guys. Hey guys, today's video is sponsored by Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon is a healthy breakfast alternative. We've all heard growing up, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But if you're like me, most of the time you just kind of glean over it or eat the really crappy food, which just does not bode well mid-morning when you are having that sugar crash and all that stuff. Magic Spoon helps solve that. Magic Spoon cereals come with 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 to 5 net grams of carbs in each serving. Total serving is only 140 calories total. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. So if you fall in any of those categories, where if you're on a keto diet or if you are gluten intolerant and you can't have soy or any of that type of stuff, it's really great for you. They offer a different variety of, you can do a variety box with the different boxes that come in. You can do all one flavor, but they got flavors like cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, cookies and cream, maple waffle. They also got honey nut, blueberry muffin, and cinnamon roll for all their cereal flavors. And they taste just like the name brands that you would find at the store. They also have little cereal bars. I shouldn't say little. Standard size cereal bars if you are on the go in the morning like I am. Don't have time to sit and eat a bowl of cereal. Those come to different flavors like cookies and cream, cocoa peanut butter, s'mores, and even more. So definitely check it out. If you click on the link down in the description and use the code STREAM2071, that is the code STREAM2071, you get $5 off your first Magic Spoon purchase. If you click on the link down below and use that coupon code, you get $5 off and enjoy a healthy breakfast alternative to start your days off right. These proto drakes don't come down on heroic, so like if it's your first time doing it, you wouldn't know that proto drake flew down after that pack. You just wouldn't. It's like I didn't blame the tank there at all, because they didn't come down on heroic. Look at that conga butt cat. I hope Feral stays relevant though. Feral has been treated poorly for as long as I can remember. For the most part, like they haven't really been super strong. I was debating if I should go around or not. They've been just, in there. And I hope Enhance isn't like too terrible. I really hope Enhance isn't like too terrible after this nerf. I really hope that it is viable and stuff as well, because apparently it was playing a lot of fun and all that stuff. It just, they were doing a lot of damage. It was wild how much damage they were doing. In a perfect world, everyone does the same amount of damage. In a perfect world, everything is perfectly balanced, but we all know that that's not going to happen. It's actually near impossible for that to happen in an MMO. With so many different classes, so many different specs. I think there's like 28 DPS specs now. Or maybe it's 28 specs total. But with like all that, and then obviously it's not all, as far as class developers go, it's not the same people developing all the classes. You have different groups working on different classes and stuff like that, and different designers for different classes. So like, do I get hit by that? No. It was a pretty clean fight. I like this fight. It's not awful. You get the ad that pops up. You get the boss here. Burn the ad down. He makes lava on the ground. You got to utilize this whole circle. It's kind of like your enraged timer there. Is like if you don't kill him before the circle is covered in lava, you're kind of screwed. He doesn't take less damage. He does take, same amount of damage. It's just that that ad does AoE damage if you don't kick him and stuff. Just gotta be careful there. So I imagine some strats for the higher end keys. I haven't watched anyone do any higher keys. I've only done 10s. I haven't done anything above a 10 on the beta yet. But I imagine the strat for the higher end keys is potentially like getting a kick rotation on that mob and then burning them. Dude, that lightning storm hurts like a motherfucker, and you can't do anything to it. Like, I can't do anything to it. I can't kick it. I tried to wing buffet it. It doesn't work. The guy's immune. I've tried to do the tail swipe. It doesn't work. So there's nothing an evoker can do against that lightning storm other than obsidian scales, which I wasn't doing. Obviously, looking at my bars here, and renewing blaze through it. The key target here, the key target here, I'm telling you, is the flame channeler, which I'm not targeted on. And someone we pulled the other guy in the back here with his lightning storm. You don't want to pull the Tempest channeler with the. You want one channeler at a time, I think, because he's doing flash fire where he's just like popping out fire, and this guy's doing his lightning storm, which just hurts. Just looking back at this, obviously in the moment, I didn't know what the fuck was happening. Well, we had two flame channelers, and a Tempest channeler, and a second Tempest channeler. Dude, this is a lot of shit happening. I think the healer got pissed off at this one. You have one thing to kick. Kick it, please. Yep. I had no clue, honestly. Going into that, how bad that was. Because on heroics, you just pull it all and melt it. It was brutal. Brutal, 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 brutal. But yeah, I would, you know, when you're in here, focus the channelers down and do what you can to keep it. Look at that! It's just so silly. The sideways running, like the strafing, essentially in the mounts. I think we die here. He's trying to reset, but it doesn't work. I don't know what happened there, but definitely get those. This is, like I said, this is like one of my first runs still as an evoker. Everything that I've pointed out before, need to make sure it happens some more. Using my Dragon Breath more, using my Pyre at 20 stacks when Dragon Rage is down, using Dragon Rage more on trash packs. Because it's only a 2-minute cooldown, and we want it up towards the end of boss fights anyways. We don't want to use it at the beginning of boss fights. And yeah, like little stuff like that. These are all things that'll make us better. Azure striking and not hard casting Living Flame on packs like this. Packs of like 2 or more, we should be Azure striking. And not hard casting Living Flame. If we have burnout procs, obviously, you know, let our Living Flame rip. But it's mainly because of the ability that we're. I can't remember what they build. I can't remember what the talent is called, but essentially, dude, Dragon Breath is kind of awkward. I don't know if there's a way to like make a macro to where you Dragon Breath like 10 yards, 20 yards, 30 yards, or however like far it is. I think I get Dragon Breath here. Yeah, I'm the worst. But like I get kind of fucked over with my Dragon Breath sometimes. Just like trying to aim it out and shit. But I think just using it more will help out too. But the talent that I'm using for Living Flame is like it hits 40% harder, but like it takes a little bit longer to cast. I think it's like a half second longer to cast, something like that. So you definitely don't want to be hard casting it, but like when you have those burnout procs, you still get that 40% more damage on it, which is huge. So that's why you kind of want to use it there. And then on here, like with these two guys up on them, just Azure Strike. You're hitting both of them with it. I don't know how we didn't. We were on each other on that one. Did we wipe on this one? Yeah, we wipe on this bull.
It was worthless to try.
This boss is wild. So how I understand this boss, and we can look it up after this, is... Actually, let's look it up right now. Play. Give me a dungeon journal. Fortnite was fun for a bit. With no build mode and Dragon Ball. And I was getting paid to play it. No, I do like Fortnite. There's just so many games to play. So many games to play. It's tough. Let's check this. Adventure guide, dungeons, Ruby life pools, this guy, abilities. Kiraka's roaring fire breath and flame spit ignites targets, inflicting that much fire damage every half second for 3 seconds. The effect stacks. Man, you're taking 6 ticks of that. Upon removal, these flames explode, inflicting that much fire damage to players within 5 yards, creating a pool of flaming embers nearby for each stack. Chars the ground with fire. So, alright, so you see Inferno Core. Look out for Inferno Core. What that is, and what that does, is it's the dot. So if it gets removed, whether it expires, or if it gets dispelled, it drops those pools on the ground. I think, let me look at this again while we run up there. Flame spit. So, Jesus. So like basically all the fire stuff will apply these stacks to you. So you can avoid getting more dots of that.
We are the truth.
You can avoid getting more dots of that by just avoiding the fire, essentially. Some of it is unavoidable, but some of it is avoidable. You want to try to keep reduced stacks. You want to try to stay as together as possible. That way you don't like spread out the fire pools as much either. You want to keep it all like, you know, in concentrated areas and move as a group, essentially is how you should do it. That's all great in hindsight. We don't do that with this fight, I believe. I don't believe we do that with this fight. I think we try, but we don't.
Feel my wrath.
This guy has an interrupting fucking thing too, which is just annoying as shit. It's so hard to stay together once the fire breath comes out though too. You gotta really make a conscious effort to get back with the group. I have a health pot available. I'm not hitting my health pot. Health pot Tim. Health pot Tim. Health pot Tim. Yeah, we're just getting annihilated in this because we weren't staying together afterwards. And with whatchamacallit, healer, with a provoker healer, you gotta be with the group. That was on all of us. And then that guy's like, let's pop lust. And I was like, oh shit, I have a lust. I always forget I have a lust. I haven't played a class that has a lust like ever, so having one is different. It's wild. And then the DK speaking up saying you need to, when you get started up, you spread, you need a loose stack in an area close to front. So I think that's whenever I made a more conscious effort to be grouped up with the group.
Your false queen cannot stop us. We are the truth.
Actually, I don't know if we finished this run. This healer was actually wild. He's like, I died to threat. Whenever he jumps on the dragon, like aggro table gets reset or whatever. It's what it is. I mean, the tank should have stuff on taunt, like taunt available and whatever, but like it happens, you know.
Deal with these operations.
So as long as you don't walk in that circle of that guy, you don't get the dot. Like you gotta be careful with that for sure. The druid died. I don't know if he pulled me in. I don't know if he rescued me into the group or not there, but like that's what got me killed. I'm convinced. It's a lot of damage that comes out like in 5 seconds. I mean, that's a lot of time, I guess. But no, like, okay, so in a matter of 1.8, 1.8, and 1.9, we had what, 40? That's a lot of damage. That's what it is, though. I don't know if we beat this boss or not. I don't know if we completed this dungeon. I think the healer ended up leaving. But it's kind of a wild fight. It's a tough fight. And then when he blows the wind, like it pushes the lava around too. You gotta be careful of that. It's a chaotic fight. It really is a chaotic fight. There's a time left in this? Yeah. The healer left the party. That's most of the dungeon though. But kind of a chaotic fight. Definitely need to keep up. And then this guy's like, the healer was not healing enough for that fight. I don't know. I wasn't keeping track of the healing meters. I don't take HPS as an indicator if you're good or not, like, cause like sometimes, I don't know, HPS isn't always a good indicator, but I'm trying to circle this, make it go away. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough fight to fight. That's a tough fight in general, and then when people start spreading out as a preservation evoker, like there's just a lot of stuff going on, so. That was Ruby Life Pulse.